All off season, William, since we lost to the Commanders back in January. I think we've done 100 episodes, talked about numerous players in the draft, free agency, going into training camp. I think there's only maybe one or two times where we haven't mentioned Levi Onwuzurike's name, William. I'm sorry for what he's done to you. First of all, I'm sorry for what he has put you through the last 24-ish hours. Ending up on the pup list, not great. My man Will here is devastated. He's been battling for you. He's been talking you up like the next Warren Sapp for the past 6 months. Will, bad news for the Lions. I mean, we'll talk about it. But Will, how are you feeling about having to hang up your Superman Levi Onwuzurike pajamas for 4 weeks into the regular season?
Steve, we've did some episodes where you've wore your heart on your sleeve. You've talked about not being able to watch movies with puppies because you need to know how they end. We've talked about Netflix and not watching the end of Netflix series because we don't want to go through the pain, heartbreak. I feel like I just got a brand new puppy, right? And I recently
I don't like where this is headed. I don't like where the story's headed.
I feel like I just got a brand new puppy, and I came home and the puppy was gone. That's how I feel right now. Like I'm just searching high, I'm searching low, and the puppy was gone. And then only to find getting on social media, somebody has found my puppy and won't bring it back. I can see it. I know he's healthy. He's good. He's healthy. But he can't play with me, right? I can't. Somebody's taking him from me, right? I've pounded the table defending Levi Onwuzurike and his back, right? My back is feeling a little damaged from putting him on my back, right? And defending him. Defending his play, defending his versatility, defending his durability. Last season, he came and only missed one football game, only to be slapped in the face, Steve. So, yeah, I'm not happy to be doing this episode. I'm not happy to be talking about Levi Onwuzurike not playing football. But I'm going to look at this thing glass half full. I'm assuming something happened. I thought he finished the season relatively as healthy as you can finish an NFL season. I didn't know or hear of anything to where there was anything that went on at the end of last season where he wasn't going to be coming into this season being an absolute dog. Maybe Brad did, and that's why he only got a 1-year deal. Maybe other teams knew something, and that's why he didn't get that contract. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate, but I'm angry about it, Steve. But the bottom line is this. My hope, my prayer is that Levi Onwuzurike goes through this little 4-week situation where he won't be at training camp getting reps, and he'll be doing things similar to us, probably sitting on couches and sitting in chairs and not doing much, definitely nothing in Allen Park. My hope is that he gets healthy. My hope is that he's rehabbing to go on a run for the rest of the season. That's my hope. So glass half full. That's the best I got. I know normally I have something good to say. I have something motivational or something that brightens up a day, but that's the best that I can do. Hopefully on the back end of this thing, it's so good that I forget about the way he's making me start the first 4 regular season weeks and the whole preseason. So what, 8 weeks, 4 preseason games, 4 regular season games. It's just tough, Steve.
I don't love using metaphors that involve puppies, Will, because there's 1,000 different things that could happen. So let's just tread lightly when you start playing with emotions on puppies and stuff. But if we're going to continue using the puppy metaphor, maybe this is like someone's just kind of taking your puppy for like a couple weeks and they're going to give it a good home. They're going to send you pictures and updates and, giving them some treats and some loving. And then week 5, your puppy comes back to you and you're reunited and it's like he never left because you still got to see him. He was still there. Yeah. And you're hyped up. So I'm not as high, and I haven't been as high on Levi Onwuzurike as you have been. I think I don't know. I think your next child's going to be named Levi Onwuzurike Ford, if I had to guess, something along those lines. But I do think that this is a big loss for the Detroit Lions in the first 4 weeks, because I was looking forward to him and Tyleek Smith really battling for that starting defensive tackle job to see who's going to come out on top. So now I think it's Tyleek Smith's job to lose, with maybe
Tyleek Williams.
Yeah, Tyleek Williams. What did I say? Tyleek Rogers? What? I can't remember what I said.
Smith.
Tyleek Smith. Sorry. Tyleek Williams. I think it's his job to lose now, with maybe Roy Lopez being that backup option for DJ Reader and Tyleek. So this is not a good move for our team. So I was a little surprised. I didn't know he was battling anything as either. So I think he's a versatile piece. Now we don't have a versatile piece. Now, what if something happens to Marcus Davenport? Like, there's a lot of positions Levi can play. And now I think, I'm not panicked or anything. I think Brad and the boys will figure it all out. But this is a piece that's off the chessboard that we don't get to play with. So I do think it's a significant loss for the first 4 weeks. It's not a catastrophic end of the world loss, because especially when we know, hey, 4 weeks, heal up, man, take care of yourself, come back. We still got 12 weeks of football, 13 weeks of football to play. So everything will be fine. I would rather this happen now than down the road in crunch time when we're really needing all hands on deck. So heal up, come back stronger than ever. Hopefully it's not a back. Didn't he have like back fusion surgery or something a couple years ago, and he had to miss like a whole season? So that's something I'm a little familiar with. I had the neck fusion surgery, but I'm also not a 300-pound defensive lineman who gets in essentially car wrecks once a week. So it could probably take a toll on you. I don't know that that's what it was, but I don't know, man. I do think that this is a bigger loss than a lot of people are letting on, just because we're also missing a Lee McNeil. So Tyleek Williams, I think the job's yours. I think go out, show why you were the first round pick, play with that chip on your shoulder, prove a lot of people wrong. There were some people out there that didn't like you being selected by the Lions. A lot of people wanted that edge rusher, not us here. I think we were both on board with, hey, this is a phenomenal pick. But there was a little bit of criticism that I saw on Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff. So I think Tyleek Williams has to quiet the critics for the first 4 weeks, Will, or maybe take the starting job permanently.
Yeah, for sure. Steve, the great thing about tragedy, although there's not much great about tragedy, there is one great thing. Tragedy breeds opportunity, right? Where there's a tragic situation, oftentimes, especially in these type of scenarios, there's an opportunity for someone to step in and have a triumph, or have a situation to where they can step into a role or an opportunity that maybe they wouldn't have got. You already talked about Tyleek Williams. I think that he's obviously going to get an opportunity, but I think that's truly an opportunity that he would have gotten anyways. I'm not in a panic when I start talking about DJ Reader being there and Roy Lopez, who you've mentioned already. Miles Adams is somebody who I feel like is underrated. He'll probably get some reps as well, and he has some NFL experience of being a productive football player. So I don't think that we're in a position where we need to sign anybody. And we pride ourselves in not being a news channel. This isn't a Detroit Lions news channel, right? But getting to a little bit of news, the Detroit Lions have worked out and signed a good sum of players, especially for getting this close to camp, right? Those players have been secondary players for the most part, a couple running backs as well. We're not going out and shopping around and working out D linemen. I think that goes to show that Brad is comfortable where we are right now. He's not panicking and going to work out a bunch of D linemen or get people in here or make deals. I think he's comfortable with the defensive tackle position, even if we got to start this season without Levi Onwuzurike, right? So that brings me some solace, and I have confidence in the guys that I named. But where I feel like tragedy could breed opportunity for the biggest reason is here, Steve. And I know you're going to roll your eyes when I say it. You might even know where I'm going when I say it. I truly believe that there's a guy.
Do not say Brodric Martin. Or
there's a guy
over here, Will.
There's a guy that is hanging on to his Detroit Lions career by a thread. By a thread, right? And you said it, and it's Brodric Martin. And there's a few things that have happened that is helping out his career. And it's Levi Onwuzurike. It's guys like Aleem McNeil, right? Not being on this roster right now as far as an active participant. Those are going to give him opportunities to do something, right, throughout this preseason. Because I don't know how far he makes it into this preseason if Aleem McNeil is active, if Levi Onwuzurike is active. So their tragedies have given him a little bit more leeway and a little bit more opportunity. Brodric, you have to ball out this preseason, or not only may you not be a Lion, I don't know if you're in the league. So Brodric Martin is another player that I am watching every single snap he plays throughout this preseason to see if he's taking this offseason seriously. I know last season he did some huge things to transform his body. I know he was playing better before he got injured. I cannot wait to see what Brodric Martin is or isn't going into week 1 and going in through this preseason. He has the size. He has the athletic ability. Did we learn to hone in on that technique, pad level, and leverage? Steve, do you have any inkling, any hope, any thought that Brodric Martin can come back bigger, stronger, better, and do enough to make this football team?
Great moments are born from great opportunity. And that's what you have here tonight, boys. Do you know who said that quote, William? Do you know who said that? I think it's Herb Brooks, the coach from the Miracle hockey team in the 80s. And for some reason, I feel like we talked about this like a year or two ago, like that, just great opportunities. That's what Brodric Martin has. You're right. You're 100%, 1,000,000% right, William. Levi going down is shining a light on Brodric Martin. And as much as I don't buy stock into Brodric, I will tell you that this is an opportunity for him to silence a lot of critics, myself included. I know you're not a critic. I think you still have a little bit of hope left in him, but I wrote him off a long time ago, Will. I just said it's been 2 years. He looks good drinking Gatorade on the sidelines, but he doesn't play football, so he's really no help to the Detroit Lions. He now has an opportunity to get his name in the mix, earn a roster spot, surprise a lot of people, why we gave up capital for you, why we drafted you in the 3rd round, why we thought that, projects can't sit on shelves forever, Will. And I think that this is the time that we see a project in Brodric Martin get on a football field and show us some development. Show us that you belong in the league in any physical way. I can't think of a person who has a better opportunity because of Levi getting hurt. And I don't think that I'm not cheering for Levi to get hurt. I don't think Brodric is either, but no. I'm sure an alarm bell went off in his head and he said, I'm going to get more opportunities now. Like, it's either time to shit or get off the pot, because after this offseason or this season or preseason, I don't know what's going to happen with Brodric. So what can he do? He can go out and play damn good football, make Brad and Dan make a really tough decision when it comes to cut day. Hey, man, we saw some stuff out of Brodric in year 3. Maybe this was the step he needed. Maybe this was the opportunity he needed to get some more reps. So we just talked about Hendon Hooker having an opportunity. I think this is Brodric's opportunity for the defensive side of the football to silence the critics.
Yeah, I agree, man. And the bottom line for me, Steve, the reason why I cheer for him and the reason why I got belief in him is because 6'5", 335, 340-pound guys who can run don't just grow on trees, man. It's not just automatic. They're not easy to find. So I'm praying and hoping that he can figure it out, because the thought of him as a young guy catching on added to this D-line room with guys that are getting older and on the back nine of their career like DJ Reader, man, the thought of Brodric Martin catching on and a rookie, Talik Williams and Aleem McNeil, all these guys being ball players, that excites me, man. So I don't know, Brodric, pulling for you, praying for you. I hope that you catch on. I hope that you figure it out, but you're up against it, man. And Steve, it's not even just Levi Onwuzurike. When I look at this thing, it's Aleem McNeil, it's Mekhi Wingo, it's Josh Paschal, it's the stars are aligning for you to get an opportunity that maybe you wouldn't have if all these guys are healthy. Because if you're telling me, and I know Pascal is technically listed as a DN, but he's a hybrid player. He plays defensive tackle too. And I've said it a bunch of times. I like Josh Pascal as an athletic defensive tackle more than I like him as a defensive end. I know he's a run stopping defensive end, but he gives me, I don't even want to be negative, but there's just not a lot of pass rush there out of Pascal. It's just the bottom line. So, but when I get into all four of those guys, then I start getting into the Talik Williams, the Roy Lopez's, the DJ Readers. I don't know that I have a spot for a Brodric Martin, even if you're playing decent football, let alone if you're underachieving. So, Brodric, you got an opportunity. I hope that you did things in the offseason to prepare yourself to step into this thing and just smash it, man, because there are a lot of people doubting you, the main one being Steve Perkins at Detroit in 313. But Will is pounding his table and saying, let's go.
Yeah, I'm a doubter. I won't lie. But at the end of the day, he plays for the Detroit Lions. So I'm pulling for him. Until the day he's cut, I'm going to pull for him to make this team, just like I do for however many you're trying out. Hey, if you're trying out for the Detroit Lions, I hope you make the team, because that means that Brad and Dan see something that think you can help us through this 17-game gauntlet that'll get us to the promised land and win us a Lombardi trophy. So if you make this team, I'm cheering for you. I'm not cheering for anyone to get cut. As a human, someone who's played sports growing up, I don't like to see cuts. I don't like the word cuts. I know it's competition. We can only keep 53. I understand, but we have a loaded roster. So the spots that are available, the handful, I don't know. Are we going to carry some extra positions or something else to maybe because of some injuries? Are we going to go an extra defensive end, an extra guard, an extra safety? I don't know what Dan and Brad are going to do. So I don't think there's a lot of jobs up for grabs. So I think that's what's going to breed this competition in training camp is there's only a handful of spots, and we don't know who that's going to be that's fighting. I want Brad and Dan to be sitting in that office like we saw in Hard Knocks with all those names on the wall, and I want to see Dan just stressing. I want to see him looking stressed when it comes to, man, I just don't know how I can cut this guy. He's done XO, he's done this, that. Like, I want to see some hard decisions being made. That's why I love that behind the scenes stuff where we can kind of get a look at that. That's what I look into, but not a lot of jobs. So Brodric, you might have an opportunity here. Please take advantage of it. I will gladly come on here and eat crow for you making this team and being a significant contributor to the Detroit Lions 2025 roster.
Steve, I love how you've taken notes from me and you've learned how to just be that politician. Like,
no, never.
We're gonna hammer him a little bit, but we're gonna rein this thing back in. Now, I'm not gonna just completely throw Brodric under the bus, even though I know down inside what you want to do. But that leads me to one question, Steve, because we're gonna get to the bottom of this thing before we hop off of here. Steve, from 0% to 100%, what is the percentage you believe of chance Brodric Martin has to make this Detroit Lions roster going into this season?
Taking into account all the injuries, what's going on with, our defensive line being a little banged up, I'd say I'd give him a 25% chance. And I think that's a pretty good chance, because like I just went on a little rant there. There's not many jobs up for grabs. So a 25, 1 in 4 chance, I think that's fair. I think it's, like you said, 6'5", 330 some pounds. That's first guy off the bus. Like, he's one of the biggest guys on the team, but his technique is just flawed. So if he's gotten that figured out in the last 2 seasons, he's going to be a problem. Do I think that's happened? Probably not. Do I hope that it's happened? Yes. So I think 25% is a fair shot. What do you give it?
Steve, 25% for a man of his stature, for a man going into year 3, for a man that Brad Holmes traded draft value for to go get. Are you nuts?
Higher?
I gotta get. Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna say at a minimum, this thing is 50-50. This thing is 50-50 with not having a lean, with not having Levi, with not having a Mekhi Wingo, and potentially not having Josh Pascal for week 1. I'm not saying that Pascal is going to be out. He hasn't been determined to be out for week 1 yet. He can be activated at any time. And I'm looking at DJ Reader, Talik Williams, Roy Lopez, Miles Adams. At a minimum, I'm going 50-50, Steve. At a minimum, I'm going 50-50. I think that he's got, and I might be 60-40. He finds his way.
Oh, boy, here we go.
He finds his way Right.
Let me
On to
let me
this
drop a nuke on you, William Clay Ford. Let me drop a nuke
Talk
on
to
your
me.
head for a second. Let me just ask you one question. Why couldn't
We
he
got
get
to
on
wrap
the
it up.
field?
It's,
Why couldn't he get on the
we
field
gotta,
last year with all those
hey guys,
injuries?
thanks for thank you guys. Thanks for stopping in. He was hurt. He was hurt.
Is he magically healthy?
Yeah, he's healthy now. As far as
I
I
don't
know,
know.
he wasn't on any list that
Everyone's hurt in the NFL. Will everyone's hurt?
he hurt his knee.
Oh boy, here. So did a lot of people hurt their knees last year. All those guys you just listed off tore ACLs. What did he do? Have a little boo boo getting out of bed? Like, it's football. You got to go out there and play. If he couldn't get on the field last year, I understand. Maybe it's still project time. Maybe he's not physically ready. Maybe he's not technically ready. Maybe he's got to fine tune his game. But I look at it and say, if you couldn't get on that field last year with the defensive line being completely banged up, then something's wrong. But if I have to give you the benefit of the doubt, now you've added another pre-off season to get yourself physically ready, technically ready. This is a make or break year for you because you couldn't get on the field last year while our whole defensive line was just beat to shit. And we were all looking like, is Brodric Martin going to get a chance? He never did. So benefit of the doubt. Maybe he wasn't ready. Maybe the project needed a little bit more time to fine tune himself. There's no excuses going into this year for me, William.
Hey, listen, I'm ready. I'm feeling good tonight. I'm feeling good. I'm not a betting man. That's not what I do. But Steve, here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to lay it on the table. If Brodric Martin makes this team, I need you to get a Brodric Martin jersey and give it away for Detroit N313. Hold on, wait a minute.
Because I don't think we could find a Brodric Martin jersey.
We'll make one. We'll custom one. But if he doesn't make this team, I'm willing to do a jersey of your choosing or our subscribers' choosing and give it away on Detroit N313. I'm pounding the table for Brodric Martin. I don't think the odds are in my favor. I'm not going to say that, but I do believe it's at a minimum 50-50. Are you in? What are we doing? Are you in?
I'm in. I just don't know why I would disgrace our valued followers with the opportunity to win a Brodric Martin jersey out of all the things we could be giving away. That's what we want to do. But I'm all for a little sportsmanship, Will.
I tell you what, if Brodric made that team, I would be willing to hang him up back here, man. Maybe 1 week I take Calvin down, man, and I
throw right. You're gonna if you take a Calvin Johnson jersey off the wall and replace it with Brodric Martin, I will personally
for a week
post your address, and me and everyone who shows up will roast s'mores on your house as we burn it to the ground.
I feel like Calvin would understand. I feel like he'd get it, man. Just a week, 1 week.
Unbelievable. I got to wrap this up. I can't even listen to this blasphemy of hanging a Brodric jersey over the sacred, the legend, Barry Sanders or a Calvin Johnson jersey. Those are two names that should never come off of a wall if you have a jersey hanging up. So that's all for tonight. Levi Onwuzurike hit us with some bad news today, or actually a couple of days ago. We're just not getting a chance to talk about it. But like I said, with great, there's an opportunity here for Brodric. So, and some other people too. So step up. Let's see what happens this preseason and stick around. We'll be back later with another show.
Peace.